Keyboards are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick free mode.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now, the two guys that took 2 years to fix their audio problems.
Welcome to BGFG episode 398. I am your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Fremo Z. How are you this week?
Yeah,
sir?
I'll always hear when I have internet anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad you have internet this time. That's
Yeah.
fucking handy, really handy.
Yeah, they finally, I guess somebody finally created enough of a
stink.
email storm that some people got out here and got some things fixed.
It was about damn time.
Yeah,
About damn
it
time.
it only took them about a month.
Yeah, right.
But I found out the root of the problem. The people responsible for the actual structural like build out stuff
Yeah,
is a contractor, third party.
really.
Yeah, so they didn't give a crap.
What is it? Is it do you know the name by any chance?
Of the build out people? No.
Yeah. All right, because
Nah,
there's
I
a
have no
couple.
idea.
There's a couple there's White Mountain up here, and there's another one, Cable something. They do all the big heavy lifting work, but
I was actually hijacked a tech's phone. He was talking with a dispatch supervisor of some level. I was like, let me talk to him real quick. And I was
Let me
like,
holler
hey, I hear y'all having problems getting the contractor out here to pull that new fiber y'all need to replace. I got people. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, I got people that can pull fiber. I was like, I can get them out here. I can get it done.
yeah.
Well, no. I was like, well, I'll tell you what. How about you shoot me an email and I'll send you some contact info for future use.
Shoot me some email. Yeah, my company. It's funny because my company offers a data backup, not data retrieval, like white room type shit. But it takes like 6 months, and it's so stupid expensive. So we kind of on the DL partnered with a local store that does great work, data recovery work, and it's like a third of the price and a third of the time. Like just go with what works for you. Your customers will be happy. Like
Exactly.
if Freedom's got people, let him bring the people over and pull the. He'll save
I
you a
got
bunch
people.
of time. He'll save you a bunch of time. So we get a good sized show this week, and I'm looking forward to this week's song. Did you listen to this week's song yet?
I know the song. I have not heard it in a long time, so I'm waiting to hear it. Fresh.
So good,
Fresh
so
again.
good. Yeah, so good. Love when it's a fresh new song. Well, fresh again song. So the first thing up this week, we're bringing back a old segment that we did. We didn't do it during COVID. We haven't brought it back until now. It's called Not Coming Down for Breakfast. We usually give these people a ticket to the spaceship if it ever comes and takes us away, and a towel, because you have to have a towel, people. You have to have a towel. I got a towel in my truck. Like, my wife asked me, she's like, why is this towel here? I'm like, you never know.
Yeah.
It could be wiping oil. It could be cleaning windshields.
You just never know. And if you ever read or watched The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll understand the need to always have a towel.
100%. So this week's Not Coming Down for Breakfast, unfortunately, it's Gordon Moore. He was the Intel co-founder. And the reason why I put it in here was the man was 94. So he lived his life, which was awesome. And I'm pretty sure, being the co-founder of Intel, I'm thinking he was financially all set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is very few people would know that name. Few people might have heard of the of Moore's law when it comes to chips, semiconductors.
Yeah.
Might have heard that. I'm not going to say the guy's as wealthy as Bill Gates is, by any means.
Yeah.
But he's done more philanthropy work, which blows my mind when I read some of the philanthropy work that he actually did, him and his wife. And good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him for doing all that and not seeking the recognition that others do.
Yeah. Moore's law is every year processor speeds or semi chips will double in at first it was just speed, then it became speed and getting smaller, and basically the progress doubles every year is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's pretty much petered off now, unfortunately, because we've got to the point where we have Apple putting on a little breadboard like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPU, and CPU on one little breadboard, making it extremely tiny and efficient. You have Intel that's, I think 5 gigahertz is like the top clock.
I don't think that it's petered off. I think that the shift in architecture and the way they're going about putting things together has made it a little harder maybe to quantify his law, but I think if anything, it's actually probably accelerated in some ways. I
could get behind that.
Especially with quantum computing.
Oh, we're gonna get to that later on in the show. Yes, quantum computing is awesome. All right, let's get into this week's news, and we'll pluck this chicken, as you say.
BGFG News. You heard it here third.
So first up in this week's news, we have how Apple's all in, and it's not a good thing. If you've listened to the show, you know that I am a huge Apple fanboy. Fremo loves to bust my balls, but whether Fremo and I like something or dislike something, we'll appreciate the negatives in something. So as Fremo's pointed out, Apple does have a great, solid platform. It's not used a lot, but it's great. I'll be the first one as an Apple fanboy to say, look, not all the shit is gold, man. There's been some serious problems out there.
There's been some rotten apples, would you say?
Oh, yes. Most recently, I would say the Apple Cinema display. That thing is literally an iMac without an OS on it. And it just keeps failing, from the speakers to the inputs to color correction. It's a shit show. You got the clean Xbox Mac. You have the boom box that they did that Steve went up on stage and said that he was getting rid of his home stereo equipment, which at the time was like legacy speakers that are $10,000 each. He's going to switch it out for a little boom box size of your keyboard. That was bullshit. But there's another one coming out, and I don't think we've talked about it before. That AI is coming, of course, but I don't know if this is something that is really ready. So I have you can see it back here in the corner. I have the PlayStation VR 2. Tried it out, played a bunch of games. It's great. It's VR. You really have to get it adjusted for you, and it takes a few minutes to do that. So that takes away from the excitement of the gameplay. Playing the games, my wife gets sick almost immediately. My youngest son likes it, but he's going to he uses a Quest, I think, or something, and he uses all the different gimmicks that they have with it, like sensing and cameras. Mine I used, and I get sick when I had to start climbing stuff, because I do have a fear of heights. Even though I climbed telephone poles for the cable company for a decade, I never looked down. I do have a fear of heights, or unsafe heights, and being in those games in VR did make me sick a little bit. Some of the other games where you have a larger field of view, again, I got a little sick. But the racing game in VR is second to none. I could do that shit all night long and not even bat an eye. Oh my God, be able to see everything, look at a bumper, get a good pass. It's just great. Apple's trying to do a mixed reality headset. And there's been all sorts of rumors floating around, even the sources that I have free, that are talking about how, is it coming out? Is it not coming out? It's supposed to be somewhere around $3,000 for this thing. Nobody's paying $3,000 for it. Nobody. And they just recently secretly...
Yeah, nobody's paying $1,000 for a phone every other year either. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, but a lot of times it's subsidized, or they trade in their other phone. They bought that thing once. It's easier. I can tell you from being in the industry, it's easier to sit there and have a customer trade in a phone where I'm going to give you, I don't know, $400 for last year's phone, and you're going to be on the hook for another $400. Or I'm going to give you $800 for that phone, and you're going to be on the hook for $300. It's a lot easier of a pill to swallow. Oh, we're going to put that in your bill. A lot easier to swallow that little nugget than anything else.
Yeah,
Now,
we're going to charge you $30 for the next 2 lifetimes every month.
correct. Exactly right. Next 2 lifetimes. So Apple
They'll
recently...
do the same thing with this.
You think so?
Are you kidding me? Of course they will.
Why would they do that?
Unless it's a complete flop and Apple pulls it, people will spend. They'll get one as long as they can finance it. They'll get one. Whether it sits on a shelf and collects dust, they'll get one because it's Apple.
Well,
you know it. I know it.
I disagree with you on this one. I do, because I'm the fanboy that buys shit.
Like, no, you're the fanboy that's had Freemo Z whispering in his ear for 20 years. So you're not the fanboy you used to be or think you are.
That might be true, but I can't get behind this at all. They recently demoed it, a secret demo to a bunch of the top executives in the company.
Virtual pat on the back.
Thank you, sir. They're trying to get some excitement around the product, but 8 anonymous former employees told the New York Times that they don't even think this thing's ready to be shipped or to go out. I mean, who's the market for $3,000? I don't. I mean, some people have even left this project. Some people have been fired for lack of progress on the project, which is unlike Apple. Most are not happy with how Siri has been integrated with it, and we've talked at length about services like Siri or anybody else. Just listening all the time. It's a personal preference. I see the value in a lot of it. At the same time, it can be used very badly. And a lot of people are also saying that these glasses, I mean, you can see in the picture that we put in the video, the glasses aren't even that big, and they're having a problem putting the headset over real glasses. So what does the company turn around and do that has a surplus of $1 billion at every given month? What do they decide to do? They're going to make prescription lenses for their VR headset. Well, that's nice. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. But now you've just locked that headset into one individual. One only individual. It's going to be a personal device.
Not if they get those ones that you can adjust yourselves.
That's what they're saying. They're saying
Have you seen those glasses?
Yeah.
You no longer need to get a prescription. You just twist the little knobby until that eye focuses right.
That's not a good...
Those are like $60. Just slap that in your headset. Problem solved.
Freebo's figured it out for you, man. Send him some email. Get him a job.
I know people.
The signature app right now is called Co-Presence, and I see what they're trying to do. They're big on the video conferencing in the virtual world. Now, I just want to say, Apple, as a fan and a lover of your company, let's look at what Meta's done with their virtual world. It ain't working. So you have it a virtual world. I can't see that working either. I will say that the idea of a video conferencing thing, I can see the potential in that. Though, I was just on Logitech's website. And the reason why is because one of the things that happened when I was swapping out the computer was that I dropped my Elgato webcam. And it's the insides are shit now. It looks like awful. So I pulled out my go-to, which is a Logitech C920. It is a phenomenal webcam for short money. Logitech, being a Swiss company, makes great products. Freemo's rocking a Logitech headset. And now he's going sideways. I don't know where he went. Oh, yeah. There it is. Well, that microphone's Logitech too. It is.
The Yeti?
Yeah. Logitech bought them. So Logitech's a great company, and the C920 works phenomenally well for short money. And Logitech has a whole conference set up. I was on their website before the show. Has a whole conference set up where you can have a camera that has 360 view in the center of your table and a camera underneath the TV that shoots the entire group at the table. That is phenomenal. And it's plug and play. It's like $2 or $3 grand, but it's plug and play. You're going to tell me that you're going to spend $3 grand each on headsets for individuals to have a conference call? And then if you wear glasses, you can't do it, or you're gonna have to readjust something. This is just gonna fail. And I hate to see Apple put out a failure product, but it's gonna fail.
Just confirmed. I'm rocking the C922.
Are you?
Webcam.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
good shit. You're welcome.
I
It's
got
good
it.
shit.
I got it from my boy.
Yep. The video conferencing, I can see where it's at, but not with these things. I mean, look at what Google Glass failed, Magic Leap failed,
HoloLens.
Oh,
With all of
HoloLens.
with all of its government contracting money
gone.
behind it, failed.
Gone. Yeah, the government was like, nah, this shit ain't working, and 30% of our people are getting sick.
Here's the thing. Eventually, it'll happen. It just ain't happening right now.
No, and again, you gotta find a reasoning. Like even MetaQuest Pro, I mean, that virtual reality, they have storefronts in there and everything, and it's just not working. And when it comes to video conferencing, nobody wants to put on a headset. Now, maybe in the automotive world, where you have a designer that wants to show something off, or an engineer.
So they get the pod that you reside in and receive your nutrients through while wearing the headset. It's not gonna.
I think I've seen
take
that in a
off.
movie, Free. I'm not sure. People are going to stay away from the virtual world and AR right now.
Actually, if they want to get that crap fixed and they want to get it fixed quick, they just need to go to ChatGPT.
Jeez.
Just ask the AI, hey, how are we messing up? How can we facilitate y'all taking over? Give us we need some quality VR to subdue the rest of the population. And I guarantee you'll get an answer.
What can I do to help you? So again, I think it's a safe bet now that Fremo and I are agreeing that the world is not ready for AR. They're not. And they're staying away from them. Nobody's going to buy this thing for $3,000. They're going to stay away from that, like they stay away from investments from, SVB. Yeah, that whole shit. So I had somebody at work that was like all about that. They're like, oh, it's going to cause the economy to crash. It's going to do everything else.
But it's not a bailout.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I said this.
No, I just think it's funny that everybody's going.
Oh yeah.
Yes, their assets are being purchased by the government and sold off and but it's not a bailout. Really?
Sounds like a bailout.
Then what is it? If you're going to keep all the accounts viable and you're going to insure beyond the FDIC limits, that's a bailout. You can do it any way, different way, smoke and mirror. It's a bailout, people.
Yeah. And I don't know. So it's for those that don't know, it
didn't work back in 2008. It ain't going to do no better now.
It's Silicon Valley Bank, and if you haven't heard already, they just failed. And what Fremo's saying is that the FICA covers everybody with $250,000 or less in the bank. So normal fucking people are fine. They're absolutely fine. It's investments. Unfortunately, SVB had about 80% of their monies in their bank, or 80% of their bank was investors. So you have people that, like Fremo and I built a company and we had angel investors donate money. That money is earmarked. And you might hear sometimes when you hear investments, oh, we invested $14 million. Well, that $14 million to me and Fremo isn't us going to Cancun. That's us paying, rent on the building. That's us paying salaries for a year. It's a lot going on. So I appreciate that. Even Etsy.
That's me doing R&D in Cancun.
Okay, we were going to talk about that because we can't say that on the air. But yes, that's what we were doing. I'm testing every tequila.
I left Phoenix behind and volunteered to handle all the R&D.
Right, and so you should. So, Bank First Citizens has agreed to buy a $72 billion chunk of SVB, and it's not a bailout. It's just another bank taking over. And the day that this was announced, which was, my God, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
They're not just taking over the government is facilitating this transaction.
Right. So
the government's saying, here's $70 billion worth of their investments, and you only have to pay $16.9 billion. We're going to cover the rest.
Yeah, and what shocks me, and we get into that whole conspiracy thing, right? Is that so the FDIC took it over like immediately, and then once they said that First Citizens was going to take it over or buy the chunk of it for $72 billion, it was amazing that within 24 fucking hours of the announcement, 17 branches reopened as a Citizens, a First Citizens Bank. So this deal included all the purchase deposits and loans that were done through the bank. Go to the link to read more because there was a lot in the link that I put in the show notes. And the collapse of SVB actually showed the weakness in our current banking system. I mean, Fremont and I have gone on like to tell you people about shady practices and stuff.
Here's the part that isn't going to get a lot of airplay, and this is the part that everybody should really be worried about. The FDIC is facilitating this transaction for First Citizens Bank Shares Incorporated.
Yep.
First Citizens is getting $72 billion at a discounted rate of $16.5 billion. What happened to the others? $54.6 billion. How are they getting all of this for such a low price? Well, guess who now owns a?
They got a Groupon.
Guess who now owns a equity appreciation rights of First Citizens?
Who?
The FDIC. And how much equity? How much equity do you think the FDIC now has in First Citizens? Oh, I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of $55 billion.
Oh, that determines only one sound effect fits for that.
Don't look over here.
Nothing to see here.
Now, why would the FDIC need to own a considerable amount of equity in First Citizens?
I don't know.
To control them.
Free. That's so wrong. That can't be true. That just can't be true, Free.
Okay.
As he just sits back and full. All right. So the banks are weak, and the federal government is going to take over them. And we've warned you enough times. Speaking of weakness, it'd be nice to have somebody.
It should scare the crap out of everybody.
It should.
That our private banking institutions are being slowly bought out and controlled by the government.
Yes.
It should scare the crap out of everyone. Because once you have a nationalized banking system, they can do anything they want to us.
Look at the credit card companies. Look at Big Bank itself. You have
Look
three
at
or
how
four.
China's run.
Yeah. You have 3 or 4 banks that actually control and manipulate the bank market. You have the credit agencies that don't report to anybody. They don't report to the federal government in any way, yet they control the number of your credit score because that's what your life depends on. Some jobs actually want to know your credit score now, and they might not give you a job because you have a low credit score. Well, I have a low credit score, you fuck, because I don't have a job and I can't pay my bill.
Some companies will dismiss you if you have a bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then you start watching Congress, right? So every once in a while when I'm tooling through the stations, I'll see C-SPAN. And I got to get lucky because sometimes I put on that channel and there's just some wacky shit. I've seen, and we've talked about it on the show before, I've seen people that are in Congress, like one person, but like there's nobody else there, and they have a stick that they're using to press the button of choice for a vote on other people's desks. You got the committees. The committees are the big thing, where if you get on a really popular committee with a lot of famous people, that's a good thing. But then you have these lower ones. I can't remember the lady's name right now that we've talked about on the show, one of our favorite, that brings a whiteboard with her when she gets on these shitty committees that nobody wants to deal with. So if you have a committee, for instance, if you have a committee that's dealing with big pharma or big oil, you're not going to have any big name congressional people on there at all unless they have a purpose to be there. Other than that, you're never going to hear it because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. So she would bring out a whiteboard and go, here's how much you made. here's how much you got paid, and here's your bonus, and here's how many people you laid off. Can you explain that, please? Like, she just calls people out on that. So this time, and we've talked about how these people have absolutely zero idea of anything technology-wise. Nothing. You know, we can go back to the series of tubes that senator said one day, where he tried to describe the internet as a series of tubes. And it just screwed up everybody and set the entire education of technology for congressional people back like 10 years after he said that shit. Now we have Congress calling TikTok in. Okay? TikTok. I get it. Former President Trump wanted to ban TikTok. There's been rumblings about TikTok here and there because it's a Chinese-owned company. It's not necessarily a Chinese-owned company. The company is based in China. But you know it's going bad when the opening statement chair, Kathy Rogers, said that TikTok should be banned for links with the Chinese Communist Party. Where the fuck did you get that? This is TikTok. This is a bunch of people doing stupid dances. Where did you get to this?
But it's so much more than that.
Oh, come on. CEO...
ByteDance is controlled by the Communist Party.
Okay. So,
shoot. Right? Now, follow me here.
Okay.
Follow me.
Okay. I'm with you. Here we go.
Get your slate tablets and your chalk out, sheeple. Because this is the only way this information will ever be held on to by future generations. Because it won't be on the interwebs.
It's true.
Federal government is buying up private banks. Federal government is trying to get a hold of TikTok. Federal government is wanting to nationalize the monetary system. And the federal government is wanting to institute social credit. And your money will be dependent upon your social credit score. And if you think I'm crazy, we are a test market here for all kinds of cameras everywhere pilot program that basically record where you go, what you do, who you talk to.
Yeah.
Why were you here? Why were you there? And that is their end game, folks.
And
they are wanting to control everything you do, and you may not have to work for a living to get your food, but you'll only get the food that they'll allow you to get based on your activities.
And again, you can sit there and call us crazy and send us email all you want, but here's another fun fact, sheeple. All you little snowflakes and millennials that skated through school, go read George Orwell's 1984. That's exactly what this is happening. Or Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, the people in power in this country wish they had the control that the Chinese government had over their population.
Oh yeah,
they wish they had that.
Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged is pretty much the playbook for what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, then you combine that with 1984. Now, you can sit there and go, oh, these guys are crazy, they're conspiracy theorists. No, we're not. We've said that consistently. We just point out facts. That's all we do. I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. I don't think that there's little green aliens that are at the White House, though I think they have a deal with some aliens.
Seriously, one question on the day, folks. Why is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is controlled by the United States government, why is it buying into private banking systems?
Yeah. Ask yourself that.
Just answer me that question.
The Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve has nothing to do with you know what? That's a whole nother show we should do. So the CEO of TikTok, which I think is funny, I can't pronounce it right, but it looks like Shoo Choo. His parent company, ByteDance, he said, is not an agent of the Chinese government. Now, with what Fremo said and what we know, and what we reported on the show before, he said that they've started this thing called Project Texas, which is designed to lock down U.S. data from other countries, including China. Now, again, I want to reiterate, this is a CEO of a fucking TikTok. Okay? It's this guy is not into politics. He does look. There might be somebody that comes up and strong arms you from the government and says, "Look, your stuff's not going to be released. You know, if You're not going to have that lease anymore in that building if you don't play ball and do this, or this. They've proven before that processors, was it a processor from China that was being fabbed that they found an actual like rootkit in it? Was it
the hardware on.
What the hell
Yeah,
was
it was
that?
it was in a couple different products. The
Yeah.
one that the
It was a
one that
router.
kept. Well, there's that one, and then the Huawei phones.
Huawei.
Huawei, however you pronounce it, that are banned outside of basically China. Like nobody will allow them in their countries because
They're
they
compromised.
found that they found that regardless of what you put on the phones or how you use the routers or whatever, that your information is going back to China no matter what.
Right. And we're having congressional hearings about, TikTok, Project Texas designed to lock down the U.S. or U.S. data. Committee members are skeptical, said it's a marketing scheme. Okay. The committee has no idea what any of this shit is. And every time we see somebody, even Zuckerberg being a robot, to this guy, anybody that technology that appears in front of these committees is stupefied. Watch it sometimes. Look it up on YouTube. They are stupefied at the dents that these committee members are. They ask the stupidest questions. They kept asking if ByteDance is a Chinese company. And numerous times Chu said, ByteDance is a global company that's founded in China, but it is a global company and we adhere to the local laws. If you would like us to ban the exporting data, we will do that. Now, again, they don't understand, like Fremo and I and anybody else that's watching the show. The sheeple don't understand, so again, you're going to have to give them a clue that it isn't, like they asked at one point, does it indeed grab your data? And the guy, the CEO's like, yeah, because it's a social platform that transmits data. Yeah, of course it does your name and your email. If you click on that on TikTok, it's going to share that shit. And they were like, "Oh, well, that's no good. We can't have that." No, it's the user choosing it. It's
but here's the thing. The reason they're making such a big deal about this is because they want the data that's going elsewhere.
Agreed.
They want the power that information will give them over the people.
Exactly.
That's why they're doing it. They could give a flip whether TikTok was from China, the Ukraine, or Zimbabwe.
Yeah, not even yet.
They just want the information that TikTok has, and they can't get it outright. So,
free. One of the committee members actually asked flat out. They're like, "Have you guys spied on American journalists?" And she was like, "What?" They're like, "Have you used TikTok to spy on American journalists?" He's like, I don't even understand the question. I don't even understand how. Besides the national security issue, these idiots threw out like teen safety issues, anything that can get some sort of like traction in mainstream media. And again, they have no idea what they're talking about. This committee, these people on this committee, even went as far to ask TikTok if they could access the home Wi-Fi network. Seriously? You asked if TikTok can access the Wi-Fi network at your home. Are you guys idiots? Do you have any idea how the network in your house, let alone on the street, let alone in the world, works? Of course, TikTok accessed your Wi-Fi. And every time you pull these up, would you like to share your information? It's just like sharing information or opening up this computer down here to the computer upstairs so I can swap files back and forth. It's no different. It's my in-home network. But yet you're not in my in-home network. So what do they think TikTok's going to do? Borrow, if I leave my phone on, it's going to grow little legs and go over to my computer and dive into my pictures folder? Like, none of this shit makes any sense at all. And they did this for 5 hours, Fremo. 5 hours.
The only thing that got brought out in that whole thing that kind of gives a glimpse behind the curtain was when they were asking if TikTok had the same capabilities, same practices of data collection and censorship that the Chinese version of TikTok, Douyin, if TikTok operated the same way as as Douyin did. That's the only thing that gives you a glimpse of what they're really seeking here.
But it's like it's
Because everybody knows that China and China's. They don't deny it. They censor everything that their citizens have access to. Their internet is locked down.
right.
The stuff that you and I can see, they can't necessarily see. The stuff that they want them to see is readily available. The stuff they don't want them to, that they would consider propaganda against the Communist Chinese Party, that's not readily available to their citizens. Are there ways to get around that? Sure, if you're.
But there's
savvy
other
enough.
things.
But
There's other things to talk about.
that's what the lawmakers are looking for. They want that. They want to know that, one, TikTok can do that, and two, how to get a hold of it.
But
That's what they're looking for.
I get it, but the real problem is not that. That's a dog and pony show. That's all that is. Because here's another don't look over here.
Don't look over here.
Nothing to see here.
No, that's what I'm saying. All this information they're putting out there about TikTok and trying to scare people about it is so that they can do a land grab on data collection.
But they're failing, and that's the thing. It's like,
Well, they're failing right now because they look like idiots, but somebody behind the scenes knows what they're doing with this.
well, yeah, it gets bigger than that. And again, these are the things that Fremo and I have said to people before on the show. We've said, look, there's a reason why we play the "Don't Look Over Here" thing, which I obviously stole from Adam Curry. There's a reason why we play that, and that's because they want to misdirect you. So there's bigger things going on that you might not approve of as a Democrat or as a Republican or as a Christian or a Catholic or whatever. There's a war going on between China and the U.S. on multiple levels. It's not just TikTok and information. Well, it's always information, and Russia is involved. But what's going on is you'll see a link that I put up in the show on the video of Undersea Cables. Okay. I love the whole story behind Undersea Cables. Like, the internet has to go someplace and it has to go underwater. So it does. So the first picture I have up is the main lines that go to the other parts of the world, which is fine. But then the next picture shows what some of them can do, right? And then the last picture that we have up is the actual how it actually works. So there's the main lines that come from this country over to Europe to feed the internet, and then they get subsidized out of there. Now, it sounds stupid, but 95% of the world's international internet traffic goes through those. 95%. And they loop all around Mediterranean, the Dead Sea, the Baltic. They're all over the place. They're underground, and you've heard whispers in the news on occasions of things like undersea cable cut, wondering who did it. Shit like that. It's a bigger problem than you think because these undersea cables can easily be tapped. So in February, subsea cable company Subcom, I think it's called, LLC, began laying a $600 million cable to transport data from Asia to Europe. So this was a big deal. 12,000 miles of cable connecting dozens of countries from Singapore all the way to France, right? We have the picture up. There's a lot of cables there. So what's to say? Now, one of the bigger ones for undersea cabling was China. China was laying those for a long time. But then somebody realized that, well, if China's laying down these fiber cables to gain access all over the continent for internet, well, they can easily tap into that and get information as much as they want. Absolutely, 100%, right?
Yeah.
So what people don't want to hear, and this is where the "don't look over here" comes over, is that the U.S. was so concerned of spying that they turn around and bought them. They bought every one of these deep sea lines. At least 6 of the private undersea cable deals to the Asia Pacific market over the past 4 years were the U.S. government intervening to keep China from getting them. Now, you might be sitting there as a red-blooded American, Stars and Stripes, apple pie, going, yes, we're stepping up. We are stepping up. Again, everything's not always what it appears, because now the U.S. has control of that. And if you think for one moment that the FBI, CIA, NSA, any of those government organizations are not going to tap those 6 private undersea cables, you are sadly mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly mistaken. Because the bottom line that we've been telling you since in the past 20 years, Fremo and I have been telling you on this show, is that knowledge is power. And when it comes to countries, the more person that has the knowledge has the power. If you know what they have for a nuclear arsenal, if you know how many ships they have and their capabilities, if you know that the prime minister of one country just slept with his wife's sister, you can blackmail that all day long. And that happens daily. And yeah, and you can't avoid that or not look at that. And that's just Undersea Cable. It's a big deal that should have gotten more news, but there's no good way to spin it. There's no good way. Oh, the U.S. went in there and outbid China. Half the country's going to go, yeah, fuck China. And the other half's going to go, excuse me, aren't we going to do the same thing that they were going to do?
I wish half the country would be on that side of it.
It's I don't know. It's just shady. And finally, though the U.S. is going to use some of their tech for good, I mean, for bad, I mean, really, it's nice to see that there is some good out there. And one of the things that I put at the end of the news for this week really, really made me smile. And that's a Cleveland clinic and IBM will be dedicating a quantum computer from IBM to healthcare research. This is gigantic, people. I mean, like really, really big. Not just the fact that if you look at the YouTube video, the picture of the quantum computer is fucking intimidating. It looks like it's going to have a brain or it's on Star Trek somewhere and it's going to decide our fate, which it probably could do. But I think this is incredible. IBM announced that they'll be installing the first on-site private sector managed quantum computer dedicated to healthcare research. And I have not had one single drop of liquor today. And that's how I got through that one segment right there. I could never say that thing ever again if I was drinking. If I put this in the second half of the show, I would have been screwed.
Oh, yeah.
But a quantum computer can do a lot. Of course, it's quantum research. And they're going to work out biomedical to get medicines and treatments at an alarmingly fast rate. But it's bigger than that, too. It's never been done before using quantum computers. Usually they use like warehouse-sized computer systems that crunch numbers. I can't remember the genomes. I can't remember the what they're doing. The sequencing of DNA. Throwing this at it is
CRISPR thing.
Yeah, throwing this at it is going to do 4 times faster. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's going to, if done correctly and we don't get bastardized by some greedy fuck, this is going to be huge. They're going to focus on screen and optimizing targeted proteins and enzymes, which is huge right there. They're going to quantum enhanced prediction models for cardiovascular risks. That is huge. With all the data we've gathered over the decades of cardiovascular research, and cancer's right there too, cancer research, we're going to be able to find proper treatments and medicines for this using quantum computing. This is a gigantic step, people. Huge. Yeah. Huge. Genome sequencing is another huge one where we can detect in a fetus, unfortunately, whether you believe it or not, and you agree with it. Looking back, my 5 kids are born and I'm not having any more kids. But if I was a young adult today, in today's society, and I was thinking about having a child, wouldn't it be a little bit in your best interest to see if that fetus before term time, and again, I know that's going to get me some hate mail, 100%.
Oh, that's going to get me some hate mail.
Because, whether you're on whatever side of abortion you're on. But wouldn't it be good to know ahead of time whether your child is going to be on the spectrum or disabled or anything else before that time? Even possibly, hypothetically, fix it or prepare to fix it when the child's born? This is how we're going to get there. This is it. The possibilities are endless, and I'm super excited about it. Yeah. And let's throw in some stem cell research, because most of the time that's not even allowed in this country. And stem cells are where it's at. I know so many wrestlers that went to Mexico and had stem cell injections, and literally felt better. Like literally fixing muscle and tissue and torn and meniscus and things like that. My meniscus is gone, well, torn up in my left knee. I would love to have something like that instead of going putting in silicone. That's only good for 5 years. Then you're going to go back. No. What happens if there's an injection that's going to, using nanites and something that, medicine or something that the sequencer came up with, this quantum mechanics. Man, that's the future's looking bright right there, man. Not going to lie.
Yep.
What do you think about this whole thing?
But if you want to, well, I was just, when you started talking about hate mail, I figured I'd throw this out there. Did you see Chris Rock's new Netflix show?
I saw parts of it.
You see his one line that just, when he started talking about the whole abortion issue?
No, it was mostly the Will Smith.
Yeah,
ones.
he had one line where he said, and don't get me wrong, when I pay for an abortion, I want a dead baby because that's what you're paying for. And I was just like,
whoa, wow.
It's like, oh,
that's
did
a little.
he really?
Yeah.
Did he really? He's like, make no mistake about it. That's what you're paying for. I was just like, damn, Chris, you trying to get canceled?
I saw one guy that I don't know how to take it because, again, I don't know if it's a liberal, or journalist in me that somebody showed me a video that had a guy that was sitting in his car and he's like, I don't give a shit. He's like, I don't know how many kids I got out there. I tell you ahead of time, don't call me. If you get pregnant, I don't want to hear it. I ain't helping you. I ain't doing nothing for that kid. You want to get a plan B? I'll get you a plan B. You want to keep the kid? That's on you. I don't want no part of it. And I'm like, that's really fucking... But then on the other side, you're like, well, he did tell you ahead of time. Like, that's up to you. You're the one that bent over at that point or whatever the case was. You know, you knew his pull-out game was non-existent. You knew he wasn't wearing a contraceptive. You took that chance. So he did tell you. Yeah. So I don't even know how I feel about that. But all right, so I've been waiting for this for like 4 days and forced myself not to listen to the song again after I heard it. And you haven't heard it in a minute. So this is a band called Mastodon. And if you don't like Mastodon...
Yes, their name says it all.
Yeah, they do. Fun guys.
I think it's a great name.
Yeah, I agree. Artwork's cool, very 70s-ish.
Wouldn't really work for a jazz band, but
no.
For their music, name is spot on.
Yeah. So they formed in 2000 from Georgia. They have 8 studio albums. This particular song is from a 2017 EP called Cold Dark Place. And this song is called Toe to Toes. And I don't even know why it's called that, but this is one hell of a song. And I'm looking forward to hearing it and getting everybody's reaction. Send this to me. I don't think what you think of it. And I can't wait to see Freeman's reaction. So let's get into it. Toe to Toes. And then the other side, we get some stick style and some tech news. Here we go. Man, what's better? That's
I don't know, man, but that drummer's got to lose like 5 pounds playing that song. He does not slow down. I mean, it's just
what caught me with that song was the noodling at the beginning and then his voice. The melody of his voice was just in the gravel. Oh, just a great song. And it's not like they're a one-hit wonder either. I mean, they got it going on. All right,
just
second.
just some good old boys from Georgia.
Yeah, literally.
Getting out their angst and frustration through their music.
Yep, we've seen it before. So it's the
Devil went down to Georgia and Mastodon said, "Nope, we got this."
That's well done right there. I'm not gonna lie. That's some good shit. So before we start our stick style segment, we're gonna have our beer, and of course it's getting into spring summer, so I have my Modelo Especial, a little pale lager. What do you got?
I'm gonna give you a chance to guess before you see the whole thing.
That better not be a Heineken. Ugh. It's green bottle. All right. It's got liquid in it. It's no Duels. No, not O'Doul's. No, I can't see that. Oh, Rolling Rock. Really? Man, I haven't had a Rolling Rock in a while.
An extra pale ale, because we're in the 80s down here, so.
Oh, must be nice. I think it's like 30 out, 40 out right now up here. It's cold.
Yeah, last week we were in the 80s several days. I think it's only gonna be in the 70s today, but.
So funny thing is that the new computer actually has a 4090 in it, and they ain't joking. This shit, I have a short sleeve shirt on, which by the way, Egg Shen 6-demon bag. Big Trouble in Little China, go watch it. The 4090 does keep this damn room warm, comfortable. I don't even need a sweatshirt. Yeah, it throws up some heat, but this whole thing's silent. I mean, it's silent. I can't say enough about it. For gaming, I built one. As you well know, when you build a custom PC with bells and whistles, it costs you some change. This one's an Alienware, and I have absolutely zero complaints about it. Zero. It hasn't even sounded like a turbine once. Not once. And it's done everything I've thrown at it. Everything. Without even a hiccup. My previous rig with the Ryzen 7 and the 6800 XT Red Devil version, that pulled a benchmark of 250. Let's say 250, rounded off. No, I wouldn't even say that. 220. It pulled a benchmark of 220. This rig with the i9 and the 4090, whew, that thing was like 385. I was like, I'm okay with that. That's good.
Yeah, that's good
works.
stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's get into stick style.
So, folks, to recap, you don't need an iPhone 14.
No.
You don't need a 4090. You don't need an i9. These things are all excessive. And guess what? Phoenix has them all.
So at work, I do, when people come up and ask about builds, I do say, base your cost, and it will speak to the people that listen to the show. Base your cost on this. If you want a future proof, of course, you try to get the top of the line if you're only going to buy a computer once every 5 or 6 years, because you can literally get that out of it as long as you keep it, in good working order.
You may want to upgrade a component here and there, but
more or less, yeah. But if you want to get into a gaming system inexpensively now, look at this. You have 60 frames on most consoles that we grew up with, especially. Nowadays, you can get about 120 hertz or 120 frames output on the newer consoles to TVs that have easily capabilities of that. So when you're looking at your computer, base it on that. If you just want to use it for gaming and you can get 60 frames, that's going to be equivalent to a console, which you've played on before and you didn't have a complaint. But if you can get 120 frames, which is not out of the realm of possibility on any $1,000 computer at all, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I'm never going to use all the power in this, but it also does the production down here It doesn't edit, but for the most part, but it does all the production down here and gaming on PC down here. So I have upstairs. I have a.
But if you want to see the reflection of Dom dying in the tear rolling down Marcus's face,
Yeah.
get your 4090.
The upstairs stick style rig is a 2080 Ti, and that's what now 4 or 5 years old.
At least.
And that pulls a 200 and change frames easily without even batting an eye. So you don't need all that stuff. I just happened to get lucky and fortunate and had it available. So let's get into stick style.
Gaming.
Stupid ass intro. How's that Rolling Rock treating you?
Crisp, light.
Oh, that's good.
Need about 47 to get a buzz.
Well, at least unlike Bud Light, where you'll drink the 47 and just get a really bad headache.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate that. beer.
People have never believed me about Budweiser products. It's the rice that they put in their mash.
Uh-huh.
I'm nothing against Budweiser. They sell a lot of beer. A lot of people drink it. But for those of you who drink it because you think that's the only option, Bud Light's like the light beer, that's the only good option, ask yourself, do you really want that nasty ass hangover that you get every time you drink it? If you don't, there's plenty of options out there.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like I literally, like if I'm just going to sit down and have a couple beers, 3-4 beers over the course of an afternoon. If I drink Bud Light, I will literally get a headache before I even begin to think about getting a buzz.
Right.
Period.
100%. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I know their marketing is second
It's just
to none.
my body chemistry just don't.
No,
like
it's
Bud
everybody's
Light
body
or
chemistry
Budweiser.
free. It's everybody's. It's
Well, I've actually had probably a half dozen converts in the last few months.
Oh yeah. Once I had a guy, one of my best friends is a friend of mine since childhood, and I got him into Modelo because I was like, yeah, how many? He's kept bringing over Bud Light, and I'm like, so you like a lager, right? He's like, well, I guess. I said, well, that's more or less a lager. I said, so you like that crisp feeling, that crisp taste? He's like, yeah. Okay, here's a Modelo Especial. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, I know. It's when you have it doesn't even have to be a craft beer. Just a beer, and try different ones out. It's not going to hurt you. And some stores will let you mix a 6-pack with loose bottles.
Yeah.
So you can try different ones. And go to a Samuel Adams. Go to I wouldn't say Budweiser because they're really like 4. Try other beers. You might like an IPA. I don't like the fruity taste of an IPA. Some people like a stout, which is exactly like it. It's stout. It's. I think it's a little bitter and a little heavy. But yet, Modelo, a lager, I like. It's crisp. It's good. It's good on a summer day, like really good on a summer day. Like if you're outside raking or something or cutting the grass, coming in and having a cold lager, in my opinion, it's like that's nothing else. That's American, baby, America. And then in the winter, I switch it over to Modelo Negro, which is a dark beer, a little bit heavier. But again, it's winter.
Not quite a stout, but
right. There's a bunch of beers. I'm just saying, we're saying try it. So, all right, let's get into gaming news this week. So the first up is, I don't know if you remember, but we've talked on the show multiple times about how valuable Game Pass Ultimate and PlayStation Plus are. If you're going to get either one of those consoles, get one of those instead of buying like 4 games. I remember back in the day going, when I met you, going to buy the original Xbox, and even before that, the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and before or after that, the Dreamcast, and going, all right, here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need the game console. I'm going to need an extra controller because I may or may not have a friend over. I'm going to need at least, I'm going to need a good sampler of your games. Okay. So I'm going to need like a minimum of 2, maximum of like 6. Okay. What do you got for me? You got a bundle? You got a deal going on? What do you got? And just doing that. And that's always the way I've done it. Now you don't even have to. because the last generation, Fremont and I would talk about it extensively. The last generation you got a new console. It doesn't matter. You still have the discs. Put your God of War in. Put your Gears of War in. Put your Halo disc in. They're going to work. They're backwards compatible. So they're going to work. But now I'm all about the digital free. All about it. Saturday I have to clean up. We have 2 end tables in the living room that have cubbies underneath that we completely forgot were there until my granddaughter opened one up while she was walking around, crawling around. And there is a boatload of Xbox games in there, just hard disk, like a boatload. So I'm gonna price some out, see if I can flip some. But it's amazing how we've gone digital.
Original Xbox 360. What are we talking here?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I might be interested. Give me a list.
Okay. I will. I'll post it. I'll post it on the site and I'll send it to you. I got to do it Saturday. So, yeah. There's a lot. I know I have at least 5 copies of Shadowrun.
Nice.
I know, because it still works. If you pop it into a console, you can still play in your local network in your house, which is aces.
We have to get the band back together. We got to get some people together. We got to get the hardware together, and then we got to pick a venue, pick a spot once a year, long weekend, whatever, and do some LAN parties.
Dude, like half of us aren't going to make it to the second half of the last day. Yeah, I'm going to tap out. My liver is like, no. My stomach is still not feeling good from Friday night's food.
My thumbs are all about it, but the rest of me says no.
Yeah. I'm just gonna watch. I'm gonna watch Fremont and Fatal. I'm just gonna watch.
Put the controller in my hand and tell me what map we're on.
Yeah, just have Wild Nav just play the flight sim, and I'll sit back here and commentate. All right, so we've talked about Game Pass Ultimate and PlayStation Plus, and that's awesome. The people that have kept, it's a good deal, but it's not a good deal. Like, I know several people at work, and they're, again, 20-somethings, that are buying the $1 Game Pass, the $1 for 3 months Game Pass, which is great. But do you like it? Because you keep buying it and changing your name. So the first problem with that is the fact that we are huge proponents of keeping your gamer tag. I will not keep you on my friends list if you're going to change your gamer tag every 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, there's people like, I'll see a name pop online and I'm like, who is that? Like, I don't even know who that is anymore. Gone off the list.
Just to let you know, the only person.
So if you're going to change your gamer tag and you're on my list, you better send me a message with a heads up, because if you change your name and it pops up under the new name, I don't know who you are.
You're out of here. We will accept it from one person in stick style. One person and one person alone, as Jack to Peepee. Because he literally comes out with a name, eventually will get banned, and then comes out with another name. And you always know it's him. You like see it pop up and you're like,
Jack something.
Oh, that's Jack.
Yeah, it's always Jack something. Good old Anthony. I talked to him about a month ago. He wanted me to make sure I told everybody hi.
Oh, good. Good man, good man. It was his first one, which was there for a while, and it was hilarious. Was Jack, capital J, me, capital M, and the last name was Hoff, capital Hoff. Yep.
So it was Jack Mehoff.
It was so good. It was so good. He pissed off so many people while we were playing. Oh my God, it was so much. You'd hear people in the background. You hear like parents in the background going, "What is that? Shut that off."
Who's Jack Mehoff?
That is so good. I love that.
Mom, say that again one time, real fast.
So fucking.
Who's Jack Mehoff?
So, Microsoft is actually losing money. I didn't know this. Microsoft's losing money over the past 3 years on Game Pass. Like, just losing money. In 2022, Game Pass broke.
That's because all the people. And I don't know how. I don't know why someone at Microsoft didn't go about this $1 Game Pass. You do realize people are going to abuse that, right? No. How are they going to? Just sign up under a new name every time. Just
You have a
saying.
bunch of randos with like XXX, MILF Liquor, XXX. Like, come on. That's, first of all, that's not something I want my kids to see, my younger kids. But at the same time, I look at it and go, if you're a parent and you're just letting your kids jump on there and you didn't put any restrictions on it, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
If they're, and I would even bend on the 13-year-old as opposed to 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Like I would allow the 13-year-old to have full access for the most part. I'm going to jump in there with you a couple times. I'm going to see how you conduct yourself. Like all my kids are pretty good, but my youngest sometimes can get a little toxic if he's really passionate about something, and I get that. I feel you. But it's a lot of toxic players that do this as well, where they get the dollar code, and they'll either try to cheat or just being purely obnoxious and toxic.
Yeah, I mean, it only costs them $1, so what do they care?
Yeah. We used to have a guy that was on Stick Style with us. My God, I can't remember his
Who are
name.
you thinking?
On Xbox. It was a while ago. Yeah, I'd have to pull it up and check. So,
Well, give me a story. Maybe I'll know the name.
oh, he used to come in every once in a while, and he was so obnoxious, purposely obnoxious. He was a dick, and he only showed up every once in a while. I'll figure it out and pull.
That is probably Roman. His real name's Roman. The guy with the real bad Southern accent. You couldn't understand half of what he said unless he was insulting you.
No, that was your friend. I don't know if this guy's even still on. I'm scrolling through my list now. Not Big Ox Bad Cow. Oh, there it is, right there. Forgot all about that douche canoe. Buck Naked. What a dick. Buck Naked. He was just an absolute asshole.
That dude was sheer brilliance.
No, he wasn't.
I never had him on my list though.
I bet not. Yeah, a total douche. Toxic.
You didn't like him. You didn't like him because he always spoke the truth.
Is that what you're saying it was? Okay. So the people that had the dollar Game Pass can be toxic. They're doing it to try to see if they something cheating works. There's many reasons why they do it, and they're actually losing money. So what they did is in 2022 they broke 25 million users, but the subscriptions have declined, especially going into 23. So Phil Spencer said that, like, right now the Xbox subscriptions hit a plateau. We can't get any more, and that's because people are just going to sign up for that dollar one. If their mom or dad, or they simply cannot afford a live pass, then they're just going to get this dollar one. I mean, who wouldn't for 3 months?
Yeah.
And if you want to be legit more or less on it, I believe you can't, because it's only 3 months. So you have to get a new gamer tag afterwards. And again, just to let you know, because Freemo and I know this, that gums up the works. That gums up the system. Because when you have all these gamer tags, they don't release them. I cannot stress that stupidity enough with Xbox. Microsoft does not release gamer tags. Freemo and I know like 15 people that have their gamer tags locked out that we'll never see again because they simply forgot their password. And Microsoft just won't help. They did it to my son. My son didn't do anything. He just wanted to play Star Wars. This was like when he was like 13 or so. They said he needed to be an adult. I'm like, I'm his dad. They're like, we don't care. Send a birth certificate and a social security card. I'm like, I ain't sending you that. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah.
The two things on this planet that you hold close to you and don't let anybody know? No.
Yeah.
No. But I don't think he's wrong. They hit that plateau, and that's the reason why. And those that are on the fence, they're going to keep using that $1 option. Those that don't like it or are just doing it for fuck's sake or whatever the fuck they're doing, then they can go away. And I think this is a good idea. Get rid of that dollar plan. It's not making any money. Let's get some legit people in there that might keep it for a year, that might pop on, that's going to jump on. That's our age. The dollar's nice, but it's only 3 months. I get it, but you can do something else. You can have giveaways. You can have, earn a free month trial, buy a game and get a free month trial. There's a bunch of things you can do. Go back to the old ways. And like I said, I know a couple of people that do it at work with the dollar option. And I don't know. I think it's cheating the system, Free. Don't you? Like, if you keep getting a dollar option every 3 months and change your gamer tag.
Well, I mean, it. I don't know about cheating the system because what are you really cheating? The only thing you're cheating is your gamer score because you're never going to build one.
That's a good point.
But
That's a good point.
Since Microsoft never really did anything with gamer score anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I had a conversation with somebody.
I can understand somebody that just wants to get out there and play different games. They don't have the money, the dollar pass. Yeah, great, do it. For the ones that, like you say, they're using it to abuse the system. Yeah, we don't need them. But so I can see both sides of it. But me personally, I'm not doing it. Like, it's a social thing for me. I want to get on there with my buddies, people I know. I want to play. I want to talk. I want to catch up, have dates, have fun, rag on each other when you make a bad mistake, like fall asleep and drop off a cliff instead of making that turn. Just whatever. So the dollar thing for me would never have been an option.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, Buck Naked, I could see him doing the dollar thing for 3 months.
100% that douche. So yeah, I hope not. Evil fucker. So one of the things that, like, I don't know. I think part of it also is that if you're right, you're not cheating the system. You're not. But you're doing a disservice to the system. And as for the gamer score points, I just had a customer come in a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was this week or last week. But they came in and they were concerned about their kids' child safety online. Why the computer that they bought them for like a good amount of money, it was like a Christmas gift, is already broken or not working right according to the kid. So I said, they were there in the morning. I said, to be honest, I said, you guys don't have the answers for the questions I need to ask. I said, does your son get out of school? Is he at school? They're like, yeah. What time does he get out? Let's make another appointment for this afternoon. You come back with him. He'll ask me the questions. I'll make him feel comfortable. And I did. The kid was super nervous, apparently. The mother told me later. Super nervous on the way in. He came in, sat down with me, and I just went over stuff like, what are you playing? And then I made references. Like, he played Fortnite, and he played Minecraft, and he played Call of Duty, and he played a couple of other ones. And I just made references and shit, and he felt more comfortable. So then when he let his guard down, he let me know that he was doing cosmetic mods. I said, but you don't know what's in that package. You're not at the point yet. You're 12 years old. You're not at the point yet where you know what's in those packages and can dissect them and figure out what they are. So leave it to somebody like us, okay? Just play the game normally. Do what you need to do. Yeah. And he was asking about, like, he's like, I go to this website and this website to play this game, and this is an emulation. I said, all those are problematic. And I installed, like, an ad blocker, right? And it triggered, like, 60-something. I'm like, this site is literally stealing your data. So let's get off of that. I said, if you work hard and you do chores and stuff around the house, I don't know how your house works. I looked at Mom. I said, I don't know how Mom does it. I said, but $15 a month will get you unlimited access to Xbox on PC. I said, you'll have plenty of games to play. And if you want to buy another game, go to Steam. He's like, oh, yeah, I go to Steam. I was like, right. If you do stuff around the house and you're a good kid, you get good grades. I said, your parents are more likely to give you that $7 digitally, or in some cases $30 digitally to get a game, as opposed to driving your ass to GameStop and seeing if they're open and and spending the $70. You know what I mean? On a digital game now. And
well, did you address the other thing that I'm sure the kid was trying to do?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, is that when you have these cosmetics, along with that, a lot of times they'll and again, I don't want to blame kids. I've watched my 13-year-old go through it too, where it's not just the cosmetics. It starts with the cosmetics. Like my older son, my 16-year-old, he went for cosmetics and he didn't give a crap about anything else. He just wanted that Batman skin or whatever it was. But my 13-year-old started with the cosmetics, and then he slowly went into like the little tiny mods. You know, like this will make my gun not pop up. It takes out the recoil. Okay, that's not a cheat. I'm just modifying the gun. I'm like, that is a cheat. It's
Yeah,
not
does
what they-
everybody else have that?
It's not what well, they could download it. That's what he said, honest to God. And I'm like, that's not the same, man. That's not the same. You have to, it have to be something that's authorized. They have it in there to equal the playing field. And I explained that to him. Valve has taken it to a whole nother level, though. Valve, like we talked about last week, Valve has said that they're not playing around with cheaters anymore. And sometimes you encounter them. Like whatever game you're playing, you're going to encounter a cheater. Freemo left Halo 2 forever, Halo franchise, on Halo 2 because of a flying
Three.
warthog. Halo 3 because of multiple flying warthogs. And I don't disagree with him for that. I've been in games in Fortnite where I'm like, dude, you did not just shoot me from there with that gun. You didn't. You didn't. I have gigabit Ethernet, and I have, upstairs 2080 Ti that's pulling 200 something frames. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's a cheat. And sometimes it'll pop up in Fortnite, which is kind of cool, where you can actually...
Yeah, forget the fact that a shotgun doesn't shoot 3 miles.
Yeah, but they actually have that where if the system thinks that there's a cheating going on, then they'll pop it up and ask you if you want to file a complaint. The one that I have up in the YouTube video right now is the one that you actually see if you're playing a Valve game, which I think is a lot better. If they see or sense that there's a cheater on there, I mean, like we sit through that shit all the time. You have to sit through the whole game, and you got to suffer and get away from that guy or whatever the case is. Or leave the game yourself. But if you leave the game, there's
but
penalties.
if you drop out, then do you get back in with your group?
No, not just that.
Slot. There's all kinds of stuff that goes with it.
Well, I put it in the show notes. What was the game that we used to play that if you backed out, you like lost points, or if you backed out too many times, you weren't allowed to play for the rest of the day or a 24-hour period? Was it Halo 3?
What was that?
Yeah. And we used to get pissed because if your connection dropped or something weird happened, you got kicked out.
Yeah, you couldn't get it. Wasn't all day, but it was like you couldn't play for an hour or something.
Yeah, and you had to do it more than once.
If you dumped, I think if you dumped 3 times.
Yeah. Yep.
After the 3rd time you dumped, you couldn't get back. It wouldn't let you back into the server for, I think it was an hour or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so if you had a crappy connection that day, you just didn't risk playing.
Yeah, and. So I hope that that's not going to happen, because sitting through those games and waiting for the cheaters to either leave or whatever the case wasn't fun. And now Counter-Strike 2 is going to have what they call VAC Live, which the screen, like you're seeing now, is the screen that's going to come up. And I've seen it on a bunch of streamers' sites so far that are beta testing it, and it really does work. If there's a cheater in the room, the whole game goes to the load menu and then backs out, and you see the red sign that says cheating detected or hacker detected, restarting server or restarting room or whatever the hell it was. And that's the main goal. Now, my problem is I look at a game like that, like Modern Warfare or Fortnite. And I know they're 2 different games, but I'm saying that based on the fact that they're like multiplayer games and the way they're shooters. Somebody's going to put a dongle on their gun combined with a certain camouflage that's on the gun, with a certain outfit that's on the gun that the computer didn't recognize for half a second, and it's going to kick everybody out of the damn room while you're in the middle of a game. And then potentially ban you from playing too.
I think it'd be great when you went back to the lobby if the cheater's tag was like red.
Oh, that'd be great. But I believe, from what I read, you're out. You're just out.
Yeah, but I mean, I get bouncing them out of the room, but there needs to be something to identify who got bounced, like a splash screen, a game ended round ended due to cheating by, and then bam, there's his tag.
So,
and let him go get another $1 Game Pass. Oh wait, he can't anymore.
I see what you did there. That was nice. Valorant is already doing this, and it's apparently working for them. It's nice to see a company take a negative and turn it into the positive.
Because I'd much rather the room just dump.
Yeah.
And start another one than, like you said, sit there. I remember, this was way back. I'm trying to remember. which Call of Duty it was on. I think it was Call of Duty 4, which was called Modern Warfare. And
Yeah.
I remember being in there, and I kept getting, I got sniped, and I'm like, I normally would just go ahead and hit X to respawn instead of watching the kill cam because I wanted to get back into it. And after
But
getting
then when you
sniped,
watched it, yeah, I remember
I got
this.
sniped like 4 or 5 times from.
It was
I'm
Call
like,
of Duty
where
2.
the-
It was Call of Duty 2.
I was like, where in the world is this guy hitting me from? There's no way. And so I stopped and watched the kill cam, which gives you where the shot came from, like what they're looking at, so you can get an idea of where they're at on the map, maybe. And literally the entire map on the kill cam was like an inch by inch. This guy had glitched like outside of the map,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
way out, way out. And like the kill cam, you couldn't even see me as a
Yeah.
character. You could just see the map like this big in the middle of the screen. The rest of it's white. And I'm like,
Yeah. I remember that.
okay, well,
You were freaking livid.
what do you do with that? You can't
It-
do anything with it.
That
You
ironically,
can't shoot the guy because he's outside the map.
Yeah.
And I was so hot.
Yes, you
I was
were.
so hot.
Ironically, it was. If I could see the map, I could tell you the name of the map, but I remember the map distinctly because it had the street on the left, the one-way street, and
Yeah.
this is the same game. This is the exact same game and map that Ed Special's infamous forever run up that one-way street, where there was 3 shooters at the other end of that street,
Yeah,
in
he
3
kept
separate
running down.
locations, and he just would not stop. And we're telling him to stop. We're like, Ed, stop. He's like, no, I'm going to make it, dude. You're not going to make it. You're not. There's like 100 yards of open space where the one guy in the building, one guy at the end of the street, and another guy off on the pier that's next to the street that are just clipping you. They're literally trying to see who can get you first. Like, stop.
Yeah, he would spawn and take off running.
Yeah, but it's nice to see a company that's going to take a stand against that. It's
Yeah.
just nice to see. What's not nice is what GameStop's been doing as a company. The pieces of shit.
What are you talking about? They finally turned a profit.
Oh yeah. So fourth quarter of 22, they did turn a profit,
Yeah.
$48.5 million in profit, which isn't a big amount for a company that size. But at the same time, this company's lost some shit. So, the year before, let's just put it this way. The year before that, they lost $148 million. So
Yeah.
again, it's not the profit you want to see, but at least it's a profit. And
Well,
how do
they moved in the right direction.
Yeah, but they're doing it from cutting costs the wrong way. Let's stop laughing, you antagonist. Because this shit gets me hot.
Oh, it does. That's what I'm laughing because it's ridiculous that they're even claiming this as a profit.
It is. We've talked about it on the show before. You're cutting labor. You're making managers run 2 stores, and you're single booking your staff. So anybody can open up at like 9 and work till 6 or 9 to 9 in some stores. So you're working a 12-hour shift 3 days a week.
Yeah, and then you're firing the one employee who was there on shift because they got robbed.
Yeah, because they stole PlayStations. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But the real thing that burnt my ass, and I put this in the story in the show, was that then the CEO, Matt Furlong, comes out and says, it's never been a healthier company. Really? You asshole? Really?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you got
And
paid
he
$17 million, you fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like a third of the profit that they showed in
Yes.
Q4.
Yes. And you know what he had the balls to say? He had the balls to say that it's because of the growing collectibles business. Are you some sort of absolute disconnected millionaire douchebag? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because
everybody can look at it, with the number of people that they've laid off, the number of stores that they've closed, their labor costs because they're reducing hours. Instead of having full-time employees, they'll hire a bunch of part-timers. That way they don't have to pay benefits.
Yep.
And that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That's where all their cost savings came in that allowed them to be profitable.
And you're going to say it's because of your collectible business? I'm going to call bullshit on that one too. 100%.
Bullshit.
Because
you're not selling that many pops.
when you bought ThinkGeek, everyone was like, okay. And then you shut down the website and we were like, oh, come on. And then we walk into the store, and you went from having 3 slots in wall space, which, again, if you don't work in retail, you don't understand. Every space, square footage in a store is purchased, paid for, bought, rented, or accounted for. Everything. There's a reason why you see certain things in the front of the store, because they make more money on stuff in the front of the store. That company, Funko, say, paid double what they usually pay. Instead of being on the side walls when you walk in, they're on the front cab when you walk in, that little stand that's right there. That's how they make money. That's how they sell stuff, move product. Think Geek had collectibles and T-shirts and shit. So you walked into the GameStop, and the back end, when they first did that, looked like a Newberry Comics. It was great. It was like you had T-shirts, you had comic books, you had statues, figurines, collectible shit. Then they went down to like one display case and one wall rack. And then they went really nowhere. It's like that stuff is mixed in. You can tell it's on the planogram of being like, all right, whatever bonus products you have or overflow, you put on these 4 shelves. It's not what it once was. And it pisses me off that this CEO, who's making $17 million a year, is talking about collectibles as a growing business portion. You're not doing collectibles. You can't even get fucking pre-orders on custom PlayStations and Xboxes correct. Like, there's so many people all the time that talk about how they didn't get their shit because it was given to a friend or sold, or they just simply didn't shit.
Yeah, they've already started in Europe. They're basically closing up shop. They're like pulling out of whole countries. And some areas they're like, here's a refund for your pre-orders because you're not going to get them because we're not going to be here.
Wow. Now, I heard that some of these stores are not doing gift cards anymore, no pre-orders, no trade-ins. I get the trade-in thing. There's only so many fucking consoles you can have and then flip and sell on eBay.
And there's only so many copies of Mercs, too, that you really need to have available for repurchase.
I guess
Don't get me wrong, Mercs 2 is a good game, but you walk into GameStop and there's like 18 of them.
Yeah. I will say that I found some actually hidden deals with controllers. You know how I have a problem with controllers. I have a problem with I have a problem with microphones too. Look, I got another one.
Stop. Here's a way to help with your controller problem.
Yeah.
Stop throwing them.
I don't throw them. I treat them very well. They're right behind me. I treat them very well.
Yeah, those are the ones that don't work anymore. Why?
No, they work.
Because you are throwing them.
I don't throw them. I don't get angry. I don't get angry. I'll tell you one that I would throw.
You need to get a safety. You need to get a safety harness like thing that like hooks to your belt,
like a bungee cord,
like a little short bungee. So when you accidentally drop your controller, it doesn't hit the floor.
Awesome.
Oh, wait a minute, dude. We may have just come up with a.
What?
Does your controller accidentally leave your hand at high velocity? Do you find yourself falling asleep and dropping your controller to the floor? No more will your controller be damaged due to these unfortunate circumstances. Get the new controller leash.
Well, they already had that for the Nintendo Wii.
No, I'm not talking about the little wrist strap thing. I'm talking like, it'd be like a little Velcro. You like Velcro it over the controller for sweat absorption and grip control, but then it also has the bungee that you hook to your.
That's neat. And then I could do the after effect because bloody nose, black eyes, lost teeth,
and screen pixel damage is not
and screen pixel damage is not covered. That would be kind of funny. I can tell you one that I would throw, and again, I have, like I just showed on the camera, I don't know if you were looking, I got myself another microphone. It was 50% off. It was on sale. So I got another.
You could have saved 100% by not purchasing it.
You are correct. I'm not going to lie. It's a problem. The controllers are the similar thing, and here's why. So this first one, there's no way I'm getting this. This is a new line that they have. And it's one of their solid color lineups. Like you have an Xbox controller, and again, my wife said this, Free. She said that she's like, it's pretty incredible that all of the controllers, like out of all the different companies, the Xbox controller is one that you can go get a custom one with your color you want. There is so many unbelievable choices to personalize your Xbox controller. I think that's very cool because it's a good controller, right?
Yeah.
And the black and the white one have always been around. The black one first, and then they did the white one, which is great. This is their original solid color one. So there's shock blue, pulse red, deep pink, electric volt, which is like a yellowish green, and then this one, velocity green. I can't get behind this one. I don't own any of those solid ones.
What?
Nope, I don't own any of the solid color ones.
This is the
upstairs I don't.
original. This is the green from the original Xbox splash screen,
I know.
and you can't get behind that.
It is so green.
I'm out.
Oh, stop. It's so green. It's like really like green screen green. You don't think that's a little too much green?
I think it's great.
Now, I need to
I
know
think
this.
it harkens back to a day of my youth.
I need to know this. Are you fucking
Fond
with me?
memories.
Because you're already
Yeah.
talking me into it. Oh, you dick. I literally would have bought it.
I am, but I'm not. I mean, that is the original green
Yeah.
from the.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just saying, if you're going to collect,
they have a stand
would
for it
say-
too. I don't want. I'm never gonna use it. I'm probably gonna get it. I'm probably gonna do it right after the show.
well, I'm just saying, my birthday's in June.
There was there you go. There was also, which excited me, which made me crack up. I was clipping through looking for other pieces of this story that I wanted for knowledge, and I came across a red and a blue one. And first thought in my mind was red versus blue. I'm like, I need to get two of these controllers and send two of them to Fremo so that you know without a shadow of a doubt, somebody in the house is player one and somebody else in the house is player two. Like, how definitive is that? That would be so cool. Then I clicked on the fucking link. I mean, look at it. If you look at the picture that I put up in the video, they got the grips are black, but the internal, the center is red or blue. And I'm like, this is $120 for two. I'm taking them. Let's go. And then I clicked on the link, and they're two Elite controllers. I'm like, okay, $130 each. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little different story.
Yeah, it's a way different story. That's what that shit is. The Velocity Green one is a standard $70, and then I believe that the stand that they have, because all of mine have stands. Even this one that I have right here, I have the 20th anniversary one for the desk for when I want to play. Xbox games. Is translucent, but it also came with a charging stand that has the 20th anniversary logo on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
I
you
do
got
like
that
this
because you were an original Xbox Live person, right? Like
No.
Microsoft took care of us for the. Oh, that's right.
one. No,
did.
they don't take care of us. No, they never do. I got a fucking T-shirt from my avatar. You bastards. You got to be shitting me, man. We've been there since the beginning. Since the beginning,
Yeah,
I had to buy
literally.
a controller,
Literally.
a controller in a fucking stand. How much would Microsoft had to spend to send?
I remember the day like it was yesterday, leaving work early, going and buying a new TV, getting the Xbox, making sure, I had everything so I could get online that day. Boom.
I remember going to Electronics Boutique, buying it with like 3 or 4 games, including Halo, and just looking at the cover going, that's a cool looking game.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
got Halo. I got PGR2
Yep.
because I wanted to get something that was, that
Online.
was online, Xbox Live,
Well,
that was
PGR1 first. We're talking live.
it was
we're talking
PGR.
the original.
Yeah, it was PGR. It was
Yeah.
PGR. Yeah, it was the original PGR. I mean, and
And I went across. I went across the mall.
And I'm Sony bashed the whole time. Microsoft. I've tried to get people exclusively to Microsoft. Tried to get them to dump their PlayStations. I've been here for you the whole time, and what have I gotten? A T-shirt for an avatar.
Nothing. I went across the hallway in the mall to get a beanbag, and then I went home and I played it, like you said. Yeah, and then the following year or the year after was when we met online in MotoGP on the demo disc.
MotoGP 6 demo. Yep.
6. I thought it was 2. Yeah,
Might have been
it was
too.
MotoGP. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so you're probably right. I'm probably going to get this, and all of my controls have
when I
stands.
knew that Phoenix didn't know how to take a turn.
Man, that was a long time ago. Long time ago, Free. Let's get into the last
Turning
segment.
down the straightaway, where he's a little bit behind me. We're coming up to a hairpin. I get on the brakes. He blows by me. I'm like, what's this guy doing? And I'm slowing down to take the turn, and shoo,
I was sleeping.
it's like, dude, there's a turn.
Yeah, kind of like you in Wreckfest not more than a year ago, who did the exact same thing on the left-hand turn. You went right by me, up over the grassy knoll, and out of my vision. I peed my pants laughing, legitimately peed in my pants a little bit, laughing so hard. And unfortunately, that recording was ruined. But it was I probably still have it, so I'll post it at some point if I haven't already. Just probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And then you denied it because it woke you up. The rumble woke you up, and you're like, well, I was sleeping. Well, yeah, you fucking were. All right, let's get to this week's tech segment. So earlier we were talking about fiber optics and undersea cables in the fiber world. And those are the main pipes that we were showing on the picture, was the main pipes that go across. And let's talk about something a little bit closer to home, though. So what a lot of people don't realize is there is fiber on your main roads. That fiber can handle a shit ton. So just like the main telecom companies do, like Verizon, AT&T, they sublet some of their lines or sublet some of their bandwidth to other companies like Mint Mobile, like Jitterbug, and cable's no different. They have the ability to do that. It's just whether you want to get into the system, and the prices that the cable companies are charging to get access to that system is a little bit scary. Down in Fremo's neck of the woods, it's a little bit better because you have the electric companies that are utilizing their lines to do this as well, which is also competition breeds less expense. It always happens. And everybody heard about Google Fiber for a long time.
Capitalism, folks. Capitalism.
Google talked about their Google Fiber for a while, and you could get it here and there. And people that did have it said that it was very, very good. But again, I can tell you from experience, living in a small state, one of the cable companies up here, well, I can say it doesn't matter, I don't work there anymore. Cox Cable uses or did use Rhode Island as a test bed because of it's so small, so easily controlled. You could do ring and ring technology, which is where that came from. It came from up here. We're testing, these 2 towns are connected, and then these 3 towns are connected. So if something goes wrong, or they can shut off something at night at 2 a.m. and see if it actually bounces and loops to site 1 and 3 instead of 1 and 2. It's a brilliant design. Google Fiber can bounce off of those lines as well. It can go onto those fiber lines. All they have to do is rent the space. Now, you can get Google Fiber. This new plan is going to be 5 gigs and 10 gigs. And they are symmetrical, which means you get the same thing down as you get up. So like right here in the cable world, you can get gigabit down from Comcast or Cox Cable, but you're only getting like 35 megabytes upload.
I'm supposed to be getting symmetrical by the end of the year.
Yeah. So fiber, like Fremo's got, you're supposed to get symmetrical, which is 1 gig down, 1 gig up. You're not going to have a problem with bandwidth at that point at all. But these 5 gig and 10 gig, that's huge. I really want to see what this is going to be like, especially being symmetrical. I think that's insane.
Here's the thing. This is just like we were talking about earlier with the graphics card and your frames per second. The average household, a gig is up or a gig down is enough for most households.
Yeah, we don't have any issues here.
Even with 3 or 4 TVs running, streaming, and somebody on a couple of consoles running, streaming a couple TVs, everybody's phone on it, you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
As long as you have a good, if most of your stuff's on Wi-Fi, you need to have a good router. But as long as you have a good router, a gig is
way more than
plenty.
Plenty. But
So
I'm also.
Are you gonna see a benefit for 5 gig? I mean, people like me in Phoenix, we're gonna see if we can break it. Of course we are. That's what we're gonna do.
But I'm gonna download everything.
Does the average household need that plan? No.
No, they get plenty of speeds. The 120, the 5 gig goes for 125 a month, and the 10 gig goes for 150 a month. Right now, though, you can only get it in Kansas City, Utah, and West Des Moines, Iowa. But if it works, they're going to roll it out. And the cable providers, they should be on notice. You have fiber. You can do this. You can figure out the infrastructure and do this. You don't need to do fiber to the home like Verizon was doing. It didn't work. It's too delicate. But you can do other things, and you can. And I think it's just the greed, again, that's not doing it. Competition is good. And the fact that the cable providers can do this puts them on notice.
Yeah.
Not all internet is competition. It's kind of weird. Like if you look at the Starlink service, which is for internet owned by Elon Musk, it's a satellite service. If people keep talking about it, like I've had people come up to the counter and talk about satellite service, and I'm like, you don't know what this is like. It's not good. It's 25 megs to about 150 megabytes down. It reaches everywhere, almost everywhere, which is great if you're on Wi-Fi all the time and you're out in the middle of the woods. Okay, I get it. But cellular signals are just as good. They can reach pretty far. And the fact that you're going to pay a satellite company like a huge amount of money for 25 megabyte to 150 megabyte, that's not good. It's like having a DirecTV. You have to have line of sight. And, of course, there's a lot of Starlink, so you have a good line of sight. But now they're going to make it for RVs. And they've always done that. You can always put a satellite dish. Even DirecTV had options, Dish Network, to put on top of a RV. And when you get to your camp, just dial up your RV. You literally have to turn the satellite to hit the line of sight for that. But now Starlink's parent company, SpaceX, has got a different option for you free. You can get a thing called flat high performance. Yep, this needs to be permanently attached to your RV, and it'll cost you about $135 a month. Well, I shouldn't say that. The kit alone.
That sounds intriguing. Let's take the word flat and the word performance out of it.
They're saying that you're going to get a standardized. It's not going to fluctuate.
Let's go with high. But you got to be to buy this.
Yeah, it's insane. The kit alone costs you $2,500.
Yeah,
and then it's going to cost you $135 a month for somewhere between 25 and 150 meg down.
Yeah, but there's going to be those people that get to say, "I've got Starlink in my RV."
Whatever. Yeah, the government's going to say the same thing soon.
And they'll say people that are going to go, "I've got a $3,000 Apple VR."
Nice, well played. It's the same thing.
Look at all my Harley leather.
Harley leather. Yeah, they do that. Hey, who the hell's calling me? Oh Lord. So Elon Musk, what I was alluding to before was that Elon Musk just recently inked another deal with the U.S. government. This time, SpaceX is going to expand its Starlink service capabilities to military applications. Guess what they're calling it, free?
Starshield.
Starshield.
It's actually going to be a whole separate network of satellites.
I don't care. It still sounds like a new Netflix show.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What if Elon gets mad one day?
Yep.
Like he did with the Ukraine and said, "Nope, you're not using my technology for that."
Or when he shut off the API for Twitter.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I really do. People are getting so pissed over Elon. It's like, you know what? Y'all, the guys in the position to do this, you've allowed him to do this.
Yeah.
Everybody's praised him for all fantastic.
They're going to focus on imagery, communications, and something called hosted payloads, which it's the military, so who knows how that's going to turn out. I
saw a recent thread. I have to go back and see if I can find it. He's the Antichrist now. Did you know that?
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Again?
You saw that red samurai outfit with
that was like 2 years ago.
Boba Fett,
Yeah.
whatever you say that, the satanic goat head
Yep.
idol thing with the upside down cross. And I had to laugh. I was like, he did that for shock value, people.
Oh,
He
100%. Yeah.
He looked at that
headlines,
and said, sure,
hashtags.
why not? I mean,
yeah, he did that for headlines and hashtags. That's what he did it for. But the one that Elon's going to do for the military, they're building a whole thing from ground to satellite with end-to-end encryption and security. So I believe that is achievable, especially going to satellites. If you're building it out yourself, you're controlling everything. And with SpaceX, you're going to be able to do the payload, the rocket, you're going to be able to do everything. And it's going to be secure. And it's going to allow, the thing that's kind of weird, though, is going to allow inter-satellite laser communications, which I find interesting, too.
yeah. And it's also going to allow Elon to maintain Twitter at a loss for decades.
Exactly right. I was going to say that. He can actually run that thing forever now. I do think I will say this.
He went to the government and said, hey, I want to put Twitter on the AOL plan. How do we get this done?
Yeah. The AOL plan. Nice. One thing I will say, though, is that one of the biggest things the military will bitch about, any serviceman or service person that's in the military will say, is that the biggest weakness in the military isn't what they have. They have everything they need. It's communication. If they can't get a link up, or they can't get a phone call or service or radio signal, it becomes a problem on the battlefield. And the fact that this takes that out of the equation, I think, is very, very good.
Oh, yeah. This will allow all the various technologies that are out there, from the short pulse lasers that they're developing to the slaved drones to aircraft.
Yep.
All of that. It will have unlimited communication capabilities. Encrypted, can't get into it.
Right.
The fact that it's going to be point to point with laser means it's instantaneous for all practical purposes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything else this week? What are you looking around for?
No. I think we're good.
All right. Well, that's all we have. So that's it for this week. 10 down, show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.